Okay, that sounds like it's working.
All right, everyone, give it up for Draden.
We're talking about Android malware, then and now. So, who am I? Sorry, I'm Draden. I'm your 4 out of 5 in the CSEC BSMS.
Please quiet down.
I'm a specialist in mobile forensics and exploitation, and I'm just kidding. I'm actually a freshman in the CSEC BSMS program. I'm a generalist, but I'm also a cyber athlete and I do jiu-jitsu. Pro tip, don't try and pass someone's guard when they have your arm and head pinned. Bad idea. You will get tapped out. All right, so I wanted to find some terms. So we got malware. You guys have probably heard of that. Malicious software. Payload. That's the part of the malware that does the malicious thing. It also denotes that we're kind of sending something to the victim and they're doing something with it. Persistence is the ability to maintain control of a system. In our case, we're generally talking about through reboot or until a reboot, and then if you want to go through reboot of the phone, that's very difficult and expensive and hard. The handler is something that manages incoming and outgoing connections. A reverse TCP attack is where a victim's device opens a connection to the attacker, and an APK is an Android application package, so basically an app file for Android. I'm going to start by illustrating the attack and just the initial process, which starts with creating the payload. So we're creating the payload with MSF Venom. We're selecting the payload with the TACP flag. So as I mentioned before, first TCP, there you go. We're setting the local host, which is the attacker's machine IP address. And then the port, obviously, we're elite hackers, and we have to demonstrate that to anyone looking at the network. And then we're redirecting that output to free VBucks generator safe.apk. This is for social engineering, which I'll talk about later. Optionally, you can host the APK on a local web server for ease of computer fraud or testing. Just kidding, don't violate the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Very bad. This is educational purposes only. So we're also going to have to set up a listener. You just open MSF console. We're going to set the handler, and we're going to set the payload to what we used just before, and then we're going to set the same host and port, so that way it knows where to listen for what kind of traffic. And then you'll see it started the handler, so now we're just waiting for some victim that we have authorization to hack to connect to us. So with this kind of attack, you're going to need some sort of social engineering, and there's a few different ways to do that, because you need the victim to install the APK. Here you'll see a website that should be hosted right now, freevbucks.student.rit.edu. You can see we've used elite HTML tactics to illustrate that you should download the safe APK and get free VBucks. Notice the graphics, they're great. That's how you get them to install. Another hypothetical approach, very hypothetical, hey, can I borrow your phone? Or maybe, hey, a phone was left unlocked and unattended. Installing an APK takes less than 30 seconds. I have timed it. Don't do it. It's illegal, unless you're hacking yourself. That's why it's hypothetical. Very cool. Just very clear on that. So now we're going to walk through the installation and see what that looks like. All right. There's a few main points we got to run through. The victim downloads the APK through some sort of social engineering. They run the file, and they accept the permissions. And then there's some additional things about allowing installations from unknown sources, because maybe Android developers realized, hey, people shouldn't just download unknown files. That's why we have the Play Store and stuff. So here we can see that the victim, which is myself again, has navigated to the website. That's what it looks like on mobile. Clearly it was optimized for mobile. Now they've downloaded the APK, and there's usually a warning about how to, hurt your device or whatever. Of course, the victim just wants the free VBucks, so they're going to keep downloading it. I know that's what I would do. The victim has proceeded with the download, and Chrome is telling them, hey, you're not allowed to install apps through us because that's bad. And Chrome is right, but they need the VBucks anyway. So if you press settings, you'll see that they actually have some elite protection. Does anyone know what we can do here? Yes, okay, so it might be a little hard to see, but we can actually press the allow button. Yep, and then we can resume the installation. All right, so now we have this. So now, it wants to install main activity, which, as you know, that's what VBuck generators are called secretly. We're just gonna press install, and then play protect blocks it. And what do we do here? Does anyone see a way we can get past this?
Okay.
Yep, well, no, we were gonna press install anyway. And then now it's been installed. Very great. What's the next step? The victim opens it, right? We're met with a few permissions requested, just a few. This is what a VBucks generator needs to run. It's got to mine some crypto from your phone calls, get your location, all that good stuff, and then it'll go straight to your Epic Games account. So when we grant the permissions, there's a warning. This VBucks generator is kind of old, so you just press OK. Play Protect wants to scan it too, but for the same reason we don't use virus total, we're not going to do that. And then now I'm going to talk about the connection and exploitation. So this is what the hacker sees once they have a victim connected. You can see the highlighted URL, highlighted IP address. Shows the phone, that's my phone. And then when it says Meterpreter, that means you have a Meterpreter shell. And now you can start executing commands. Very fun. Here's a few commands you can run. Dump SMS, dump call log, download, upload, geolocate, send SMS. And we're just gonna show you what each of those look like. Dump SMS. We'll dump all of your SMS text messages. On my phone, that was 15,903. That took a few seconds, and then it saved it to my laptop. You may be wondering, does this affect signal messages? Actually, yes, but fortunately, only if you don't send it securely, which, why would you do that? That's a bad idea. Also, yeah, we call that a layer 8 problem if you're familiar with the OSI model. What else? Yeah, also notice it's not dump MMS, so if there's any files or videos or photos sent, it's not going to collect those via this method. You can also dump the call log, which also includes call metadata, so you know who called who, for how long, and when. And as you can see there, it was a nice 1,900 calls. The download command is a little complex. It will allow you to download a file. Here I've downloaded message.txt, which is something everyone has on their phone. If anyone's curious, it was just a CTF file because I was away from my laptop and I couldn't CTF. And then we have the upload command. You can see I'm trying to look at heydemopeeps.txt. It's not there. That's why it failed. When you upload it, it is there, and it worked. And you can see that the upload worked. Geolocate will return the latitude and longitude of the device if GPS is turned on. Here you can see that I was in the Ritz Tech Club room. Other options include WLAN geolocate, but that requires a whole API that I don't want to pay for. And then you can also send text messages. So I was able to send a text from my phone through my laptop. Also, what's cool, those don't show up in whatever messaging app you have, so you wouldn't know about it. And then I blurred out Chandy's number. He left, he's at a class right now. Oh, he came back. I told you to leave your class. I didn't dox him, so that's good. You happy about that? Woo! No doxing in here. Yep. In the past, I've used it to alert me that I hacked myself, and then you'll see that later and how you can, alert yourself that you have a victim. Which, why would you do that? Why would you leak your own phone number to a victim? Don't do that. It's obviously a joke because these are fake pen tests. So, as a programmer, let me go back. Now, when we were setting it up, you may have noticed there was a lot of typing, interacting with the terminal. And as a programmer, I hate programming and typing. So I made a program to do it for me. So we automated a little bit. The main script is bash. It has a local host and port variable. That's the same command as before, except it just automatically does it when you're in the script. And then that's the same command to restart an Apache web server to host it. And then this is a much better way of opening MSF console. It just automatically sets the local host and port, the payload, the handler, but it also does this nice little auto script thing, if you can see that. And it also opens the sessions non-interactively, which means it'll just execute commands. You don't even have to worry about it. And who wants to see some cool commands that are being executed? Just a few, yep. All of those. So here's the 4 things it does. It hides, it grabs system information, it grabs user information, and tries to exfiltrate files. It's very aggressive, and some of these don't work on modern Android things like dump contacts. It says my phone has 0 contacts. They update Android, which is good for us, security through community and all. That's our logo. We want things to be harder to hack, and that makes the harder to hack, the more fun it is, and the more money you get if you're doing it legally. So it'll hide the app icon. It will turn off the ringer, grab information about the system, get the user ID, list every single application you have installed, check if your device is rooted, look at all of your interfaces, get all of your text messages, get all of your calls, get all of your contacts, try to locate your phone. It'll alert me that I hacked you, and then it's going to download everything in your downloads folder, as well as everything in your screenshots folder, and everything you've taken with your camera. Now, there's a few reasons, like I already started talking about it, why I said attempts to, hide app icon doesn't work, dump contacts doesn't work, geolocate won't work if the GPS is off, and downloading takes some time, depending on how many files you're trying to get out, and also persistence is hard to establish. So the interpreter session might die, but the script's going to try its best. It's going to try its hard, and it's going to get as many files as it can for you. All right, so now we have a live demo available. Tenchi, would you like to hack your own phone?
Yes. So this is a little kind of burner phone, but it's an old Android phone. It's running Android 6. I believe that's like Nougat. Back when Android had candy names for its operating system. So now it's like, what, 13, 12 or 13? It's not a candy anymore, sadly. Okay, I wonder if we can get a camera to show.
Hold
fine?
on. All right. This is a listener running. We're going to have Tenchi quickly install. Oh, at least you can see my speaker notes. That's not nice. Guys, I'm supposed to be fully prepared without any other things, like a god. Okay. What? Okay. Tenchi's navigating to the website right now. We should see him connect as soon as he installs it. And then we're just going to, because this is old, we can actually do cooler things that we couldn't before, such as getting persistence until reboot with 4 lines of bash, as well as conducting audio and video surveillance. And we'll see that in a moment. He's installing main activity. I'm sure you guys have, perfect vision, saw that. And you can see that it just sent the stage, and we've opened a session right there. Yeah. Hold this. Yeah. Yep. Now you can tell I'm a real hacker because my terminal is green. And there we go. We're connected. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do webcam stream. All right, that's Tenchi's camera. It's very small. Let's make this bigger. That's Tenchi. Can you see that? Wow.
Yeah! All you guys. This way. This way. Hi, everyone.
Yep. You can also record video and audio. Just live stream it right here. All good. User has no clue. Very not good. Fortunately, it doesn't work on modern devices. You have to pop root back in the day, and on this older phone, no need. We can also very quickly, I was going to do this first actually, but we can just get some persistence if you want. So let's look at that. We're going to change directory. Okay, hold that. Okay, we're changing I didn't need the mic still. Okay, we're changing directory. Okay. We're going to the downloads. Yeah, this is the ASMR. This is the hacking ASMR. We're going to downloads. It's actually just download. There we go. he has nothing there because he rebooted his phone except the APK that you saw he just installed. True, look at that modification date, you know it's live. And then we're going to upload /root. No one get angry at me for the fact that I'm using root. Desktop demo. Okay, we've uploaded a script. We're gonna just look at it. This is how simple it is. It's just a while loop, and then it just starts the app over and over. Shell. Just check the directory, and then we can just run the script. There you go. So it just started the activity, which is the app. So it's just gonna run the app every 5 seconds, I think, based on the sleep. There you go. And it ran it again. This is gonna keep running it. And then I can just not terminate the channel, but leave. It doesn't matter. Persistence, everyone. It's gonna just keep connecting and then opening it on there. This is why we update phones. Don't use your grandma's phone. It's bad. It's gonna.
This is also my grandma's phone.
Yeah, it's his grandma's phone. Okay, we're gonna stop the live demo. Yep. Okay, 1 second. There we go. So that was the live demonstration. And now we're going to move on. So we're just going to look at what it used to be around 4+ years ago. Like I already mentioned, on these old devices, you can live stream their screen. You can conduct audio and video surveillance. You can also play audio on the device. Yeah, sorry. You could obviously rickroll someone. You could make them think they're going insane if you just played like random noises on their phone all the time. You can also change the ringer still, which is very interesting, very scary. Easy to get persistence, that's the script we just saw. You don't even need root for that. You don't need root for so many things back in the day. And then we're just gonna look at where you might have seen some sort of malware in the news. Anyone hear about Pegasus? Woo! Yeah, Pegasus. That's a few years old actually, but it came back in the news. First made headlines in 2016. They attempted to hack a human rights activist, not good. And then they made headlines again for using the spyware on more activists and journalists for political reasons, but they claim the services are only for authorized governments to fight crime and terror. And then also if you want to look at different attack scenarios with this, script kiddie level, you make the malware with the pre-made tool. I don't know who would do that. Maybe someone might even be audacious enough to make a presentation on it. And then you have the criminal organization level where they can bundle malware with legit tools. Interesting examples at Xcode Ghost. In China, the download speed for Apple's official development software for apps is very slow. So what developers did was they just used other services to download it locally. Hackers were like, oh, let's make something that just puts in malware when it compiles your app. And then that's how you get WeChat hacked. Very cool, clandestine operation. Custom malware, 0 days, maybe, and then you got an operative installing after establishing some sort of cover. Open question, where do you think NSO falls? I don't know, I'm not gonna tell you. That's maybe a bit of a political question. Can you protect yourself? Yes, a little bit. One simple step. It's like one of those ads you see. Doctors don't want you to know this one simple trick. Just turn your phone off and then turn it back on. It's already really hard to get persistence until a reboot. It's even harder to get it through it. This will impose costs on the hackers, and that's what the NSA says. So there you go. And then as a conclusion, next steps you want to do, get persistence as a future project. I'm probably going to bundle this in some sort of real APK and then try and replace an app that already exists on a user's device. And closing thoughts, this is scary, and this is why I decided to work more in cyber. So thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna have a short Q&A section. So Draden, go ahead.
Yeah, you.
So you just mentioned that you would have like a while loop and a script to regain persistence. Is that a prevention for your intent crashing, or is that to keep persistence after a read?
So yeah, the interpreter session can just die. as early as like the user locking their phone. And then what that does is the shell is still going to be running that script, so it'll just keep sending an interpreter like connection back to my machine. And then if they technically like close the app, then it could theoretically just like close it, but no one's really closing their apps. It's not only that it crashes, it just dies because they just stop connecting. Like an app in the background shouldn't just be sending data all the time. No, the script that I just showed does not. That requires something like essentially popping root and then altering something within the phone's files where it automatically will run something when it reboots. Or that's where bundling can come in, where if I bundled it with, say, Instagram and you open Instagram, then you're sending a shell back.
Right, so after a reboot, they would need to reopen.
They'd have to reopen the app, yes.
Okay, understood.
Yes.
So you're saying that it wouldn't pass the scan though if it were to send out the actual app itself. That's why we have that you're dealing with sketchy like free V-Bucks so that they wouldn't send it to the scan.
Are you talking about like on the Play Store or something?
Yeah, like during the process you have to say don't send it out so you don't want
Oh, yeah. Pretty much anything will already know that with the pre-made MSF Venom, it'll just know it's a Trojan.
We disabled Lookout.
Yeah,
Like antivirus software, like the old phone had like some antivirus software. I don't know if other mobile phones came packaged with antivirus software, but that did, and we had to disable that because it marked it as a Trojan.
yeah, and even that still maybe it adds 15 seconds if you're just installing it as someone who has access to the phone, or if you have really good legit social engineering not offering free V-Bucks, then you could theoretically convince the user to just say like you really got to just turn off all these things, and that's plausible. Yes. I did not. There's a tool called MSF Venom, part of the Metasploit framework, that just generates payloads. Yes.
So are there any tools that you could use to, like if you're doing a Windows exploit, you can like fail to hide the Trojan?
Mm-hmm.
Get test vendors or anything like that for Android?
Slightly. There's something called signing APKs that make them look more legit, and there are tools to do that. But for the most part, any phone is really just concerned in general with any outside app being installed. Anyone else?
Any questions? Going once, going twice. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. This concludes our research section. Get that. This concludes our research section. Thank you so much. Please wait. We have a message from our president, Enzo.